You know, when we think of a great nurse, we usually picture clinical skills, a steady hand, a comforting bedside manner. But today, there's a new skill that's become just as vital, as fundamental as taking a patient's blood pressure, and that's digital literacy. And believe me, the stakes here are incredibly high. This quote from a nurse educator, it gets right to the heart of the problem. Imagine a student scrolling. They see a viral video, and it looks helpful. But without the right skills, they can't spot the danger hiding in plain sight. It's a perfect and kind of scary example of how fast health misinformation can spread. So that really brings up a huge question for us. In a world of AI diagnostics and viral health fads, what does a modern nurse's toolkit actually need to have in it? It's not just about knowing how to use the technology anymore. It's about understanding it on a much, much deeper level. Okay, so how do we even begin to answer that? We can't just wing it, right? Luckily, experts have already built a structure for this, a framework that breaks down this big idea of digital competence into skills that you can actually teach and learn. So this framework breaks it all down into 5 key areas. First up is information and data literacy, which is not just finding info, but judging if it's any good. Then we've got communication and collaboration in this new digital world. Third is digital content creation. Number 4, and this one is huge, is safety. We're talking protecting data and people. And finally, something every nurse is a rock star at, problem solving, especially for when the tech inevitably goes wrong. Now, to really get why these skills matter so much, we have to talk about a concept called datafication. It sounds super technical, but I promise it's happening all around us all the time. It's basically the process of turning life into data. Every time a student clicks on a quiz, or every single beat a heart monitor records, that's data. And this constant flow of data is being collected and used in ways that have massive implications for healthcare.
Okay, with that in mind, let's go back to the beginning. Where does all this start? Well, it starts in the classroom, where nursing students are supposed to be building these digital skills from day one.
All right, so for a nursing student, this information literacy thing is way more than just knowing how to use a search engine. It's learning to spot the difference between misinformation, which is just plain wrong by accident, and disinformation, which is deliberately trying to deceive you. They have to get that what Google shows them is personalized by an AI, and that every free online tool is using their data for something. The really crucial skill here is learning to always ask, who made this, why, and where's the proof?
And then you've got communication and safety. Students have to learn that their online life is part of their professional life now. That means mastering netiquette, the basics of how to communicate professionally online. It also means managing their digital footprint and, on a super practical level, just locking down their own devices. Because in healthcare, your personal digital safety is really the first line of defense for everybody.
Okay, so all this classroom training sounds great, right? It's all good in theory. But what happens when the digital tools that everyone depends on just stop working? Especially in a place where every second counts.
And this isn't a hypothetical. This is a real story from a hospital floor. Can you just imagine the chaos? The one system that makes sure patients get the right medicine at the right time is just gone. Suddenly, nurses are scrambling with pen and paper, and the risk of a mistake just goes through the roof. This is a powerful reminder that these skills are not abstract exercises.
That story perfectly brings us from the classroom right to the clinic. So let's shift gears to look at how these foundational skills are put to the test at the bedside, where the pressure is really on.
So for a nurse who's actually on the floor, information literacy takes on a whole new meaning. It's about looking at the data pouring in from electronic health records and diagnostic tools and making sense of it. It also means knowing that automated systems can have serious blind spots. Like if an AI was trained on data that wasn't diverse enough, its advice might not be accurate for everyone. The nurse's judgment is that essential human safety check on the machine.
And at the bedside, digital communication is everything. It's the lifeblood of the whole care team. This is also where that digital content creation skill comes in. It could be as simple as making sure a patient education handout is actually usable. Can a patient with low vision read it? Is the language we're using in a telehealth app easy to understand and culturally appropriate? That's digital competence in action.
And I want to be crystal clear on this point. In the clinic, digital safety is patient safety. A data breach isn't just some IT problem, it's a full-blown patient safety crisis. An unsecured medical device isn't just a tech oversight, it's a direct threat to a person's life. You can really see the shift in responsibility here. As a student, your main focus is on protecting yourself, your data, your devices, but the second you become a nurse, that circle of responsibility just explodes.
You become the guardian of incredibly sensitive patient data, the security of medical equipment, and the integrity of the entire system. The stakes are just infinitely higher.
And this is exactly why that final skill, problem solving, is just so non-negotiable. A nurse on the floor often has to be the first responder for tech support, troubleshooting a glitch in the EHR or a bad telehealth connection. But it's also about looking ahead, thinking about new tech that could actually improve patient care, and accepting that you have to be a lifelong learner in a field that is changing by the minute.
So, after all this talk about data and algorithms and systems, it might feel like we're losing the human side of nursing. But the point of all this isn't to turn nurses into IT experts. It's about giving them the tools they need to keep the human element right at the center of everything they do. But here's the thing, and this is so important. Technology and compassion aren't fighting each other. They're actually intertwined. The right technology can free up a nurse from paperwork so they can spend more time, actually with their patients. Digital literacy makes sure that technology serves the nurse and the patient, not the other way around.
And this is especially true when we talk about AI. We hear all this chatter about AI replacing people, but in healthcare, it's a tool. A really powerful one for sure, but still, just a tool. As this quote puts it so well, humans are involved every step of the way. It's the nurse's critical thinking, their experience, their values, that take the output from an AI and give it real meaning in a patient's life.
Which leaves us with this final, really important question. As tech gets more and more advanced, how do we make sure it strengthens the human heart of nursing instead of replacing it? Well, it seems like the answer lies in building these digital skills, not as some separate tech class, but as a core part of what it means to be a great nurse today. The goal isn't just to be tech-savvy, it's to be tech-wise.